Bing, boom. Every man is king of his world, at least he should be. You don't gotta fear me. You don't gotta love me. But you gotta hear me because I'm addressing the public. This is Upgrade America. I know you love it. CJ the Day Slayer. I see you over there clear. Sing, sing. It's zero dark 30 at this hour. So I'm out in the bug out van, so I can be a little louder and not wake anyone up. But how the heck are you? How's life? How's the weather out there, man?
Weather's been stormy like normal Florida life, you know.
You know it. Sunshine State, my behind. Yeah, it's been
It's
stormy
well,
out here as well.
it's always both. So it's
That's a
sunshine, it's gonna storm for sure.
that's a both worlds, man.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about Bitcoin, a new executive order, which I don't have the number to, and how it could potentially lead to a ban on Bitcoin mining. CJ, we got some more subjects for current events. We changed the format up a little bit, but what else are we talking about?
The Queen is dead. Is the world ready for another white king? Sports and
No,
entertainment. That's
what's
still
it?
soap product review. Okay. How can we upgrade America? Spirituality and vibrations and outro. That's it.
Cool,
That's what I
cool.
got.
Yeah, we keeping it light. So let's just go into it. There's my understanding there's some a new executive order, and for our upgraders not too familiar with an executive order, it's like a temporary law that a president can make directly, like a conventional law. Can you walk us through the process, high level, how conventional laws are made, CJ?
Yeah, well, executive order is a part of something actually becoming a law. So basically, everybody comes together, writes it, then they be like, all right, we agree, and they got to go through the House, then it goes through the Senate, then
Hmm.
it's passed. Once everybody passes it on each level, then the president signs and it becomes law. But the president signing executive order, from what I understand, is like kind of the start of it, besides them
Um,
creating the law.
um, I want to inject my understanding of an executive. I believe you explained the conventional route correctly,
Okay.
where it starts in the House and ends with the president signing it into law. However, with an executive order, it's more or less it's a temporary law that only exists
Oh,
during the
yeah.
administration. So the next administration can undo it. It
Yeah.
does not require the Congress. It does not require the conventional means to make it law. It's more or less like, yo, I'm gonna do this while I'm in the house, and that's what we're gonna do. And then Trump can, like, I believe Biden repealed Trump's executive orders,
Hmm.
and it's so forth and so on. That's what presidents do. Anyways, in this particular case, with the executive order dealing with crypto, they're linking it to the environment. New
Hmm.
York City has already put some sort of ban on crypto mining, meaning they are designating how free Americans can utilize their power.
Hmm.
And this is kind of unprecedented for like the first time in history. There are many things that drain power for entertainment purposes and what have you. This is monetary. It actually has quite a bit of utility, and they're putting constraints on it. If the environment is I heard the metaphor put like this: like if Bitcoin is so bad for the environment, like well then so is sports. Was when you think about how much gas it takes to get there, how much energy it takes to keep the arenas lit. Like, and what is the end game? What is the end product out of there? Is like, oh, people's enjoyment and whatnot. And I'm just being a jerk because I'm not a sports fan, but who this is what it's coming to though, where people in power can pick and choose on what is one day it could be Bitcoin. It could be Bitcoin. Like, okay, yeah, you can't use power energy for Bitcoin. The next day it could be sports. They could be like, oh no, it's not green. It's not green.
Hmm.
And again, perhaps yeah, a threat on Bitcoin, but again, it's still a threat on the use of power. I say it all the time. Power is the purest form of currency. No one needs money. They need things money can buy. and more often it's power. And now power is it may be having some constraints on how it may be employed. How do you feel about that? Not particularly for Bitcoin, because I
Hmm.
haven't brainwashed you successfully just yet, but for any use of power, do you think that there should be constraints on if it's not being used maliciously? Do you think there should be any constraints, energy crisis pending and whatnot?
Well, it shouldn't be, but the United States has a tendency to do that. That's just like they penalize people for living off the grid. They
Hmm.
they penalize any, if you really think about it, any invention that skirts the big farmer or big oil is penalized. So this is par for the course. If you look at the history of how it works in capitalism, a fully capitalized society here, there's no problem with capitalism, but the problem is the excessive greed. That's why we believe in mutualism.
Yes,
Feel like
indeed.
both can coexist properly, but yeah, that's what it's just par for the course. That's how I kind of look at it. Like, yeah, that makes sense why they would do that.
Really, and I want to further elaborate on the mutualist concept. Like, just really imagine a world where, okay, boom, we ended poverty, we ended hunger. Now we can just focus on doing bigger, greater things. Like,
Hmm.
what type of world would that be? By all means, have capitalists, concepts where we reward people who are contributing to society and making great, contributions. But like, at the same time, we gotta end poverty that's been around since the age of kings, which I suppose that's a good caveat to transition into. The queen is dead. Rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth. From what I know of her and how she carried herself was very like like a monarch, like a queen.
Hmm.
And I know there's some. I didn't really dig too deep into her. I know there's some conspiracy theories with Princess Diana, and I'm sure that she's been in power for 70 years.
Yeah,
I believe she was 96 years old in power for 70 years. So there's not a president who has, been around in that time span who has not shaken hands and did business with her, you
yeah.
know. But she passed. What are your thoughts on that?
It's
Or
like
on her?
she's old.
Yeah, yeah. Not
Uh,
necessarily the conditions. I'm just saying, like, I don't know.
okay. Well, you know what's interesting? So, I'm heavy on Twitter. So, man, I'm telling you, the Irish, everybody that's Britain has colonized, the jokes
Hmm.
that have been flying. Oh man, it's been amazing. Like, I can't even account how many. Like, I didn't know we found out there's an Irish Twitter. Oh man, they went crazy.
Really?
Yeah, they were like, they were at like a game or something when they found out she was dead. They was like, Lizzie's in the box. Lizzie's in the box. I was like, oh, so,
Well,
but
yo, you gotta understand the perspective
yeah,
of the English crown.
yeah,
Like they an empire, essentially what they do is they conquer and enslave,
yeah,
and that's essentially she was the head of that. How long has this empire existed? Let's just say since the thousands,
yeah,
since 1000 AD or what have you. And
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
something like that.
Crusades.
Yeah,
The English crown. They did the Crusades in the Middle East. They killed countless, murdered, raped in the name of England and the Holy Grail and Christianity and whatnot. And then lineage, she's in that same bloodline. So
yeah,
then you had all these, you had white male supremacy effing up the world for you know so many centuries, and then she takes the helm. They kind of did some transition where it's not like, yo, the crown rules. It's like they're kind of a figurehead, but we all know that power rules behind the scenes. You don't make all these deals and all these relationships for centuries and don't retain some sort of political power behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But I think the world is ready to say, like, F you. You already said on Twitter, like, they laughing and they wilding, but how do you think they males tend to be more assertive. The queen was kind of laid back in her position, but how you think this new king is gonna play his position?
He's gonna let this, either he's gonna make a big splash early, or he's gonna let this play out until it's like no longer headlines, until he gets crowned, like everything's official.
Mm-hmm.
Then he might start whatever he's gonna do. He might be a little more assertive, a little more aggressive about it. But I don't know to what effect. I'm curious on that part.
I
But
would advise him to chill,
yeah,
particularly in the Caribbean and with I see a lot of British colonies saying like, okay, Queen's dead, 70 years. Why are we effing with you? Let's be independent? And like, I could see that happening. But what do you think?
I don't know, because there's soft power, and to those upgrades, soft power is like when you rule with kind of like education, like you
Mm-hmm.
maybe language, in different countries since they colonized. I'm not saying they still don't have economic holds on all these colonies, which they do. And what's interesting is once I started seeing all the facts about Britain, like under her rule and what they've been doing, that kind of really was like, oh wow. Like they said at one point they had colonized, I think, 171 countries out of 191. If I remember, I saw that stat kind of stuck out to me. I was like, damn.
Wow.
And then they were talking about just her crown and her get up, and they were pointing to like, oh, this is from this country, this is from this country, this is from this country. I'm
As
sitting
I
there like,
mentioned, it's been seized and stolen. It's
yeah.
like
So that really,
bloody diamonds, man.
yeah, it just blew my mind. Like when everybody's just highlighting all this stuff and trying to gloss over with the pageantry and all that, and like, nah, this motherfucker was ruthless. Like, yeah, she put a nice face to it, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But they were still doing what they do. They're ruthless as fuck. So I'm curious to see what he does. He's in a new age. He's still old school. I mean, but the next in line would be, I think, Prince William, which is Diana's oldest son. So I think he's
Mm.
next in line after this guy, if something was to happen to him.
But I
Which,
think it's
uh,
this generation is really waking up to
hmm
these truths. Like,
yeah,
we've looked at Robert E. Lee monuments and statues in America far too long. And it's not just in America where this occurs. As you mentioned, this is all around the world where
hmm
atrocities have been committed and we celebrate it. Like, look at the crown jewels. Like,
you got stuff
how
on.
much blood diamonds are on that. But yeah, man, that's wild. But we also got
It is
what else we got on our rundown, bro?
still recording. Mr. Rod is
Yeah, we rolling.
you can catch this.
But I believe we got I suppose I can do my cast style commercial soap here. You want to start doing some little product reviews. But CJ, I think I may have lost you. You froze up on me. You there, bro? I'm gonna reposition and see if I can get you back.
All right, am I not showing up. Let's see.
Slight blip. Yeah, I see.
Okay, cool.
Going back at it. So we're kind of wrapping it up
Yeah,
about the English crown.
yeah.
All that.
It's just the other fact I thought was interesting was they said she's been around 1/3 of the time that the U.S. has been around. If you
Wow.
put that in perspective, she's been in rule that long.
Yeah,
And I,
70 years in power.
yeah, I was like, damn, that's kind of wild if you think about it.
But
So,
it's like you can't tell me you don't build long relationships with like so go back 70 years. Who was the president like 70
70,
years ago?
oh man.
Was it like FDR or something, World War II?
Oh,
It,
70. Okay, hold on. So,
I don't do public math, so
yeah.
don't quote me on that.
Okay, hold on. Let me look. Let me look real quick. Google, quick Google.
Cool, cool.
President. Um, yes, 70 years ago.
I mean, I'm just curious because it's like you watch them go in and out. Like okay, this guy came and he left. This guy came and he left, and then but you're still in that position, and you're definitely doing meet and greets because there's the U.S. and Britain have had great relations, but
She came into power, I think, 1952,
really,
53, somewhere in there.
okay. So
So
then that's like, is
that's
that
Eisenhower.
Wilson
That's
or
Eisenhower.
Eisenhower?
DR. Let's see. Hold on. Somewhere in there.
Or who was after Eisenhower?
Dang. Was it Gerald Ford?
I really don't recall.
Yeah.
At least not at 6:45.
I know. Let's see. Let me see when he came into as president. 34. Yeah, so Dwight, yeah, Eisenhower.
Okay, cool, cool.
So that's who was, yeah, right. The year, actually, that was the year she came in. I think it was 1952, 1953. She came into power. So
Interesting.
Dwight D. Eisenhower was president.
And then she just held it down like
That's
so
kind of,
long after that.
that is kind of wild. You think about it. She shook all their hands at some point. All these presidents' hands
Yeah,
since Dwight Eisenhower, more than likely. Ah.
but it's even just the relationships,
Hmm.
the network that she forged. That has to have great value, and I could see why she was able to negotiate a position. The
Hmm.
crown was able to retain a position in this newfangled parliament, whatever. But yeah, very powerful person. I'm curious. You see the how do you say the longevity that she
Hmm.
had. So people gotta respect that.
Yeah.
Again, I know very little of this Charles gentleman,
Yeah.
and
Nah.
it's like respect must be earned. It's not like I have royal blood, so respect me. Like nah, son. Like what's up? Where you made your bones at? Like
Yeah.
you're gonna like at least I know. Does he have military service? No,
Uh,
a lot of them have military service, which I
yeah.
find admirable. But like, yeah. Besides that, I don't know. What did you do?
What the interesting thing is, somebody has said this. I don't know if it's true or not. Said if you pay attention to the royal family,
Hmm.
they don't have last names, and the reason is because they're royal. Everybody with last names are their subjects.
Mm,
He said if you pay attention, they never mention the last names of the monarch. It's
that
all
is an
their,
epiphany.
yeah. It's just their title and their first name. That's it.
Yeah, like I think when I get my press license or whatever, and I finally do get the meet of I say in quotes, the king.
Yeah.
Be like, yo, what's your last name? Sir?"
So when I heard that, I forgot where I heard it at, but I thought as I started thinking about it, it's like, you know what, I never do hear their last name. And then you pay attention to her name, her title, right? Elizabeth II.
Mm.
So that tells you like how long she's been around. Because the other Queen Elizabeth was like way back in the day. You start thinking about it, like, damn. But the
Interesting.
other thing that's interesting too was there was like they were I listened to a podcast about basically the queen dying and the effects and all, and they were going to all the history, but it seemed like they glossed over. They were like, oh, they've never had a black monarch, but from what I understand, Queen Charlotte was black
Hmm.
or mixed.
Also,
I think she was mixed or something like that.
mixed, I could see.
Yeah,
It was like because it's like a lineage and all that.
but
But
I
so
forgot how, but I think she was the only one that was like mixed somehow. She
so
slipped it.
if you really want to take it back, right?
Yeah.
If you really want to, we already discussed how a lot of presidents have they're related and stuff, and some of them
Mm-hmm.
have royal blood. But it goes deeper than these monarchies. So
Mm-hmm.
we all talk about Kemet, Egypt, and everything like that, but it's it's the same bloodlines,
Mm-hmm.
meaning like the same people who are in power in Egypt, they had kids, they bred with the people they conquered, and if you see how the architecture from
Mm-hmm.
Egypt moved to Greece, and then from Greece to Rome, and then from Rome to Europe. I'm the best example would be the column. That form of architecture was in Egypt, and then it moved. You see it in the Parthenon, and then you see it in man. That's just an example in architecture, but the same bloodlines did that too. And
Mm-hmm.
they have the royal family. Long story short, the royal families they link back to Egypt. The
Yeah.
presidents and stuff they link back to the royal families. And it's like to where I'm going. It's a long way of saying that. Yeah, in that extent, there is black, and I don't even want to say black because it's that the notion of black is a newfangled term. Our ancestors are not black, but
Yeah.
there is a Egyptian lineage in the royal family.
Mm. Um, and then real quick, the last thing I add is I re-listened to Diana's story, Princess Diana, and it was during our era when we were growing up, and so
Hmm.
I thought it was fascinating listening to it now as an adult, and her sons are like our age, so I think William is like a year older than us,
Is
and
that the one that moved to Cali?
no, that's Harry. Uh,
Harry. I
William
thought
is
he
the
was
one.
our age,
Yeah. No,
or is he a
William
bit
is
younger?
like a year older. Yeah, William is a year older than us, and I think Harry might be a couple years younger than us.
I see. I see.
Something like that. They're like a couple years apart. But listening to her story is pretty cool. And so you see um Twitter was going crazy. So you see them showing her like smiling, and then we're like, oh, we know who's gonna be like waiting for her, looking down on there in hell and like all this kind of stuff. So it was very interesting, but her story is very interesting. I liked hearing her origin story, how she came to power, and
Can you
then
give it? Can you give it to us high level?
yeah, basically she came from a noble family. She
Hmm.
married Prince Charles, but he loved I think Duchess Camilla or something like that. So it was like she only married for the situation. She didn't really want to be in it, but she
Hold
was like,
on, Prince Charles, the guy who's about to be king.
yeah,
Interesting. So, how did she become queen before he became king, or
well
was she?
she was princess, and then
Okay, okay.
if she was still alive, she would have been queen.
So,
Like
again, why?
it's something weird like
If
that.
it's transitioning to Charles, shouldn't it transition to one of her kids before it transitions to someone outside the royal blood or line or whatever?
I don't
I
know,
don't
bro.
know how these
It
things work.
gets real tricky. All I know is she would have basically been a queen if she was still alive and they were still together. Um, something like that. So, but
Hold
then
on, say that one more time. You're saying the lady that Prince Charles liked, not Elizabeth. You're saying Camilla would have
Yeah,
been
that
queen,
was his true love, but he
but
ended up
she would
marrying
have been queen.
something like that. Princess, Duchess, something like that.
All right,
Yeah,
all right.
it's
Yeah,
weird.
I'm not gonna get lost in the weeds, but yeah, I
Yeah,
feel you.
I'm lost on that. All I know is the fact that Diana's not alive. It would have been different if she was alive and they were still together. But
Mm.
basically, she discovered like they were still kicking it, they were still sleeping around or whatever. So she was like, "Okay, I'm gonna do my thing." So you don't do that in monarch environments. You don't. That's not something you do. Diana's like, you know what? Fuck all this. Like, I'm gonna do what I do. So I think that's why everybody liked her because she was more common than royalty. Even though she came from a noble family, she still had that middle class vibe to her.
Mm.
All her humanitarian work, et cetera, and how she raised her kids, like that was interesting. It was like she made sure she gave them plenty of affection, had fun with them. She spent a lot of time with them, all that stuff. And then for her filing divorce was crazy. Like that's unheard of. And the queen was like, "Yeah, cool, do that, because we don't like her like that, because of how she be making us look." So
Wow.
after that, that's when it got, them conspiracy theories, you know what I'm saying she was taken out once that happened, once she started dating the other guy, the Egyptian millionaire filmmaker.
Yeah, yeah, I heard of the Arab gentleman.
Yeah, so
But
they ain't going for that. So I don't know.
it's like, oh no, no, no.
Yeah, they're like, all right, we gonna, do what we gotta do. Allegedly, it's all speculation.
I
So
mean, like when you really consider what was the scenario, they blame paparazzi or something.
yeah,
And when you
paparazzi
really think of the
driver like
magnitude
that.
of these lenses and
Yeah,
how it could obstruct the driver's eyesight, yeah, that could be an effective way to, yeah, they never proved foul play. It's nothing but a conspiracy theory to this day. But
well,
that's just one tale of how power,
yeah.
they sweep the dirt under the rug. It sucks, but
Well,
that's corruption.
these are a couple quick things. So, the British police finally did an investigation, and they debunked all the conspiracy theories, right? But they left out what detail did they leave out? Oh, that they didn't interview any of the royal family, right? About like threats on their life or whatever. And then the other thing is that caught my attention was she was alive during the crash, but the doctor sent her to a hospital that was further away than the one closer, instead of bringing the staff from the more advanced hospital to that hospital, which I thought they should have did. And the other aspect is that lady was still alive for like an hour and some change before she died. So it was almost like they purposely made her go to the long hospital, the long way. And how they respond to emergencies in France is different.
Mm.
Like they do everything on the scene instead of how we do. We rush it to the hospital and do everything there. We do enough to get them stable and then haul ass. Well, there they do everything on the scene. Then they go to the hospital. And
Hmm.
so they were saying if it wasn't for those couple of factors, she probably would have lived. She'd have been probably been disabled.
See,
But
and I get that, and that is that those are factors considerable.
yeah,
But it's like, if this were a hit, like a professional hit, those margins are too thin. You know what I mean? Like, oh, let's make it look like a clean job, but in order to get it done, have a drive too long to a further hospital. That's not a clean way. It's just a circumstance that happened.
yeah,
It granted it was poor management, hindsight, but I couldn't see no deliberately like, yo, deliberately take the long way, like, and
hmm
hope she dies on the way. I don't that's reaching for me.
yeah.
But
I just saying the facts. What I heard off the
oh
thing.
yeah, yeah,
I was like,
it's negligence, absolutely.
yeah, I don't know. That's tough because So they had a choice to go to either a hospital that was like um 2 miles away or 4 miles away. The one four
Mhm.
miles away had the more advanced, could handle her
And
case.
that's what you and I would see that
Hmm.
would be why you would want to do that because it's
Yeah,
like, hey, her brain's hanging out of her face. Should we send her to the El Cheapo hospital or the one that has the equipment that we can lift
yeah,
a little bit further? Like, that's how I can see that judgment call, and that's why I'm not saying I'm brushing it off, but
yeah,
it is what it is. But
yeah.
we
It's all right.
I thought we were doing but some little fitness and
Yeah,
sports.
yeah. No, sports and entertainment, real quick. Football season's here. College football for me.
Sport.
NFL. I don't watch NFL as much. I might watch like two games, like the Sunday night game, and then I'll watch maybe Monday night because those are like the marquee games. So the Cowboys lost. I was kind of happy about that. That was pretty funny. So they're hyped up for no reason. Tom Brady came back, so he played. He's what, like 45 playing quarterback. He's like the oldest quarterback ever, I think, in the
Really?
NFL.
You said
Yeah,
he came back?
yeah. He had retired in the off season, but then he
Yeah, yeah. That just went right over my head, like, and I'm
yeah,
like, I recognize. I'm like, what? He came back? That's like a Michael Jordan move.
yeah. Basically, oh, matter of fact, what's interesting? Before the
He's
game,
not coming back, is he?
no, no,
No, I'm
before
kidding. I'm
the
kidding.
game, he does like an intro, like for Tom Brady, like how he's the goat. Da 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 da. He was
Michael Jordan did.
Yeah,
That's
it was
dope.
interesting. Yeah, so they did the parallels, just what you were saying, like when Michael Jordan came back from retirement. So that was very fascinating to see that. Um, and then college football, my team won, so I'm good. Clemson Tigers, we're
Right
good.
on, right on.
Um,
But I
that's
gotta ask, how is Tom? How is he performing?
He did decent last night, actually. From what I saw some of it and fell asleep, but he did decent. He didn't blow me out of the water, but he did decent for his age,
Hmm.
considering he's good. We'll
Well,
see how the season goes, though.
it's a very inspirational.
Yeah,
I don't want to say I train at the magnitude of a professional athlete, but like, hey, have a good day at school. Don't take anyone's lunch money. Just kidding. But to see him pushing himself to professional athlete limits at 45,
hmm,
it's like, well, maybe I should go out and jog a little bit more, you know.
yeah,
But yeah, that's wild, man.
yeah. Any entertainment for you? Anything's been peeping
Yeah,
your
man. I'm about a month behind you, but you saw Love and Thunder. I saw it recently. It
interest?
was a pretty great. It had its great points. I was disappointed with the whole Sea Thor thing. I'm like, oh, okay. I see you're lacking in. You spent a lot of money on the special effects, not so much in the creativity department, but
Mhm.
it had its moments. And I saw the little blasphemous stuff in there with the whole god slaying and everything. And,
Yeah.
it was interesting to see how Marvel's approach with it. Thor's cool.
Hmm.
Spoiler alert, he killed Zeus. But yeah, that was as far as entertainment. It was like
I think the Zeus, the Greek mythology part was interesting because it was like, you just see them just like living it up kind of thing. And Thor's like, yo, we got pressing issues. What do y'all do? Oh, we're not worried about that.
it was
So,
like it was funny because I was discussing with First Lady, and we were talking about. She's like, so yeah, Thor's like he's the only god in there. I'm like, no, like Odin is technically a god, like Loki is. She's like, yeah, but they're all from like Asgard and stuff. I'm like, well, technically in the Marvel universe, if Thor and Odin exist, then technically, I was like, then technically like Zeus and Ra, and they did mention Amun Ra, but they didn't show him, or if they did, I missed it.
I know in Black Panther, kind of in those realms, they show more of the Orishas and those gods, stuff like that.
But
But I'll
I
just
want
read.
to see Marvel's depiction of Ra, like the sun god.
Yeah.
But it's
They
that was cool for
had
me that they
Greek
did bring in mythology back in there that they found a way to weave mythology into this whole Marvel universe, and it was cool. Zeus was a jerk, and you know, thought the thought Thor would wield that bolt a little bit better, but it is
Yeah.
what it is. But yeah, kind of going over time. Want to
Okay.
discuss real quick about vibrations. There's a really great book called The Kabbalion, written or inspired by Hermes Trismegistus. That's
Okay.
a Egyptian god, also known as Thoth. But anyways, it's one of the rules or laws in there is that everything vibrates. Everything is
Mhm.
moving. Even things that appear to be still are still vibrating on a molecular level. And then
Mhm.
science, it's a really great time in history. You're freezing up on my end, bro.
Let me see. And
I'm
then
gonna
it's
keep
yeah, keep going.
I'm gonna keep rolling till we adjust. But like it's a really great time in history because science is now like corresponding with these ancient beliefs with string theory and the whole
Mhm.
notion that beyond the molecular level everything is vibrating strings of energy. But okay, got you back, bro.
Mhm.
So it's like
Okay.
that's on a molecular level, but on a higher level we talk about vibes. like yo, you got good vibes, and it's talking about energy, like
Mhm.
your vibrations. And there, when you talk about spirituality,
Mhm.
it's you have to learn to be objective. You have to look away from terms as good and bad, or good vibrations and low vibrations, because nothing is good or bad. Everything merely is, because what you perceive to be good is bad,
Mhm.
could be bad to someone else. Anyways, in the term of vibrations, don't look at it as good vibes and bad vibes. Think of it as the terms as your vibration is here, and that person's vibration could be here, or their vibration could be higher. It's just that those vibrations don't harmonate or harmonize, rather.
Mhm.
And at the same time, it's where I'm at in my spiritual journey. I'm learning to raise my vibrations. And while other people's vibrations and other environments can affect your vibrations and change your frequency,
Mhm.
I am learning to, how do you say, to raise those and vibrate where I need to be. Your diet can do that, exercise can do that, the content you feed your mind can do that. Because if you're, wherever you're feeding your mind, whatever vibration that's on, you're going to resonate there. You're probably going to vibrate there too. So I went
That's a
on
good.
long enough. Oh, go ahead.
No, that's a good way to look at it. When you said just keep it objective, how you look at it instead of bad, good, low, I was like, that made sense actually. As you were saying, I'm like, yeah, that does actually make sense. And not even to add to that, I know my experience, some people like as hang out with them, whatever, it's like the energy goes up,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? Or say if yours is low and you hang with somebody, they replenish your energy up
So
or your vibration.
I agree with that. And something I want to inject, like energy, just like there are many types of intelligence, there are
Mm-hmm.
many different types of energy. However, the same laws of energy apply. Like, it's easier for a stronger energy. Whatever energy is stronger, whatever vibration is stronger, is going to be dominant. So how do you say, if an energy that you perceive to be pulling you down, if it's stronger, it's going to pull your higher vibration down. But if there's an energy that's stronger and it's pulling your energy up, then you're going to resonate. But it's just cool to be aware of how things are affecting your vibrations
Mm-hmm.
and to make sure you're getting the desired effect.
Yeah.
But yeah, eat greens, green vegetables, sunshine, and
Yeah. Do that all.
all that good stuff.
What's the Castile soap? You wanted to review that real quick?
Oh yeah, cast off soap. It's just organic soap. It's like you gotta cut it with water because it's like so concentrated, but it
Yeah.
leaves you feeling fresh and clean and smelling wonderful. But again, I emphasize it's like made from hemp and all this organic good stuff, and it's a great alternative to all the how you say complicated chemicals solutions we lather people lather their bodies with. You know,
Yeah.
go organic.
I've
But
been hearing a lot of people on Twitter talking about that soap, that Dr.
yo, it's the
Bronner.
truth, man. Life changing, and they have multiple different flavors. Like mine, they make
Yes.
this one with like roses. It really feels like you have a spa day. Like after you're done, you're like, wow, smelling like roses or whatever it's infused with. The mint one will like, yeah, keep you fresh all day. Really incredible stuff. And I'm not getting paid to say that. This is just like off the
Well,
strength of
not
my
only
experience.
that, their company business model flows into how we feel businesses should run. Their sick time, their vacation time, how they treat their employees, stuff like that.
Hmm.
I kind of read something about it back a while ago, and that's another thing to attain what America should be doing in the corporate space is caring about people at the end of the day. And they seem to care about their employees and stuff like that. So, and they've been around for a long time too, that company.
Well, we'll see if anything changes as we head into this the R word, the recession, because everything is subject to change. You know, with
Mm.
automation, machines, and or even just the economic peril. But you know, at the same time, we're living. It's a wonderful day, and real quick, how would you upgrade America? Just a new rule.
Uh, be more proactive about issues that are coming, like Jackson, Mississippi, what they're dealing with in their water. Like you had to know about this way ahead of time. They should have been already fixing that water, fixing that situation. So to see that we still deal with that in America, clean running water, really?
Hmm.
Besides hunger and homelessness, that's like one of the basic things that we can do something about, unlike other countries that don't have the resources.
I emphasized before that we're still living in an antiquated social model. The notion of we've laid, gee golly whiz, when you think about how many miles, thousands of miles of pipe that
Hmm.
we laid in the past century to connect interconnected sewage and all that, but to maintain it, it's not realistic. That's why I said we're going to have to reduce the footprint. It's just not sustainable to do this, and we're seeing that we're seeing that more and more. But you're talking about regarding with the flooding. I was considering there's a pipe burst. That's what I was thinking about right now. My bad.
No, you good. No,
But
it's
how
just
I
like,
would upgrade America,
hmm
I want this. I want the app. I want the app that citizens can vote from, and I also want the app that citizens can like a blockchain authorized authenticated user poll, meaning like you know these guys, you know you're talking to real people, you're getting real data from the citizens, and this should help you make decisions. This should be what you're basing. It shouldn't be like, yo, you voted us in here, we don't care about your opinion, we got this for the next 4 years. No, you should be getting real time feedback from your constituents because that 4 years can roll around real quick and loyalty is rented.
yeah, I agree. Oh yeah, last thing, Abbott Elementary season 2. Definitely check it out.
What is that?
It's a TV show about teachers. It's kind of like The Office. It's kind of like that style of comedy. It's really good though. They tackle like almost every issue, social, educational, um, everything. So it's a really good show. I think you would like it actually. It's based out of Philly.
Interesting.
So
I am
yeah, it's really cool.
I'm like canceling Netflix.
It's on
So it's
Hulu.
like it's on Hulu. I don't have Hulu. Like I'm really going minimal. Like I got Disney Plus for the kids,
Mhm.
but like I may I may have to see. I may have to see a trailer or something.
It's a good family show too because it has kids. It shows education, how it works, like the good things about education, what could be improved, all that good.
So
It's
it
cool,
could
and
be
it
like a
has
case study then.
yeah, it's dope. So that starts, I think, in another week or so. That season 2.
Interesting.
So
So that's
I
kind
send
of
you I send you a trailer for it so you can see what I'm talking about.
cool. I guess that covers our podcast from the
Yeah,
outro. Um, I'll share my meditations. It's like I don't know. It dawned on me like the mind when you really separate from the body. It's how do you say it is genderless. It's raceless, but it is also timeless.
mm,
Meaning like if anything can exist forever,
mhm,
it's the mind. If anything can transcend this third dimensional experience, it's that. And so
mhm.
it gives me new reverence for for the mind, and this is it's a gift that we've been given, and we're stuck in it for
Yeah,
it could be forever. So why not take good care of it? But yeah, at the same time, take good care of one another and follow your dreams.
yeah. So that seems to be the theme I've been hearing a lot. Follow your
Nothing
dreams.
else matters, man. At the end of the
Yeah,
day, if you ain't living for like for your the 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 and what I mean by dream, it doesn't have to be anything spectacular. Like it means doing
uh,
what you want.
yeah,
Live to do what you want. If you really want, if if that simplifies it more, find a way because we say it all the time. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. So in this world, in this reality, there is a way for you to do whatever it is you want. Find a way and do it. Nothing else matters. Nothing.
yeah.
And that's the biggest takeaway.
I ain't got nothing else to add to that. There you go. There it is.
Yo, for real. Bullseye well and be nice to another.
Be
Peace.
kind.